So guys, is everybody here? Can everybody hear me? Are there anybody back? I think Younow's having its usual problems as always. I can't seem to see the chat for some reason. Do you see what I see? Hi Crystal Feeler, nice to see you here. AGL watching as well. So how's everybody doing? I hope this time it's actually, you can hear me properly. I had a bit of issues there, I couldn't see the chat for some reason, I don't know why that was happening. But like I say, yeah, howdy partner as well, I hope you're doing well. Fluffkinzilla's back as well. Like I say, hopefully Jessica Australia, she's going to be coming on. We're going to be speaking away, just chatting about mental health and things like that. Talking about a little bit about a video that was made recently called Insanity in Politics. Basically directed against a friend of mine. That was really, really saddening to say the least, because he's a lovely, lovely person. And there was a lot of issues in it that basically stigmatising mental illness and basically saying that you shouldn't be a part of the vegan movement if you've got mental illness, which is absolutely nonsense. Like I say, he basically touched upon things in the video saying that he had judgment on people's position, is basically saying he was some kind of god of the vegan movement, basically sanity and reliability. Like I say, who is he? And this is Isam as Adam talking about as well, to basically say that anybody is reliable or sane enough to be in the part of the movement. Hi Jessica, you want to guess now? I can guess you in.
Hello. I didn't realise you were on. Good.
Yeah, that's me.
I was just watching someone else, and then he just guested me. I didn't expect him to, and he wanted me to sing. So we were singing, and then I was like still watching, and I didn't realise you were on. But yeah.
So how's things?
How are you? Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right.
Fluffkinzilla says that. Yeah, like I say, it's absolutely terrible. I mean, the video that was made was absolutely shocking, being honest.
Yeah, and I didn't talk enough when I made mine about dyslexia, but he mentioned dyslexia in the video, and it's like, that's like a learning disability.
Yeah.
And, I mean, people like Jennifer Aniston have dyslexia. A lot of people that actually do a lot for, you know, for speaking in public and everything. Like, dyslexia is so easy to work around if people work on it throughout their life. And, you know, you're a perfect example. Look at what you've done, spoken in Parliament and stuff. I mean, what, are you stupid because you've got anorexia? It's just bizarre to me.
It's like I said as well, what kind of got me is he was saying that people with anorexia and mental illnesses shouldn't be on YouTube and they shouldn't be part of the movement, yet he's endorsed, who I'm not going to mention the name, but my dear friend who's got an eating disorder, he's mentioned another person that's been on drugs, but they've got large platforms. Is that probably why that reason is? Because they're beneficial to his movement.
Yeah, they're people with a higher subscriber count than he, so, you know.
Hi Duchess as well, I just seen you in the chat there, nice to see you here.
Oh, hey Duchess. Did you see, she was in Martin's stream the other day, and he goes, hi Duchess. I think he called her Duchess because he read it wrong. It was funny. Duchess. Exactly, it goes beyond physical.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like the video you said the other day, you should love yourself no matter what your size, and that's what it's all about. Like I say, too many people focus upon body image, and what's the need for it? It doesn't, like I always say, basically that only tells the gravitational pull in this earth. It doesn't tell you about the people that love you so much and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like he makes a judgment on your intellect based on what you look like.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen him do it. We've seen him do it with. He made a comment about the twins, Jeff Nelson's daughters, not being attractive. He made a comment about vegan Ava rating her body a C back when vegan Ava was like, you know. So you were growling at the screen, Duchess. That's funny. You know, I sang on this guy's stream before and they had to vote to give me a place and they all voted me in first place. And I was like, you guys are trolls. I was like, I can't sing for shit. I was like, that's the first singing competition I'll ever win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
That's exactly. Or Despicable Me is his nickname, I suppose.
And it felt like Nazi Germany the way he was talking. Like he just wanted
Yeah.
pristine people with no issues that don't exist, by the way.
It's like I said, he's went through many emotional issues. He went through things like obviously his breakup with his wife, losing his children and that. He was an emotional wreck, but is it one rule for him and it's one rule for another?
Yeah. Yeah. And he seems like, the way he talks, he seems like he's had a very privileged life growing up.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you know, someone like John doesn't have a mental illness that I'm aware of, but he talked about that story about, you know, his family not having much money, and that's what makes people humble. That's what makes them relatable, and, you know,
Exactly.
is he going to go in and say that people with lupus shouldn't be on because they're not strong enough, or people with cancer because they can die any minute, or something stupid like that? Like, it's just as stupid to me.
I know, what got me is the part about the kind of, you can partake in sports and things like that, but you can't partake in a political movement. When is veganism been a political movement? I mean,
I know, and like, oh, you're allowed to play sports, like you're allowed to have a tea party, you know. It's like, it's almost like demeaning to say that you're allowed to play a sport, even though you're crazy, but don't try and do anything that's really important. We're talking about someone that made a video about mental illness in the Demimon that is vegan YouTube.
exactly. Yeah.
About it being like a political movement, and that people with mental illness, not only is the movement bad for them, but that we are very dangerous for the movement because one person can mess it all up. Because we're walking around going, "Blah," and stabbing people, apparently. But that was really horrible to say that he could stab someone else. Like, I've always said, like, I know it's not a good thing, but does it matter? Like, we're just asking you to support this person as a friend. Like, we're not asking you to give him your social security number and tell him where you live.
I mean, he even talked about, he said people reached out to him to endorse this person's channel. We won't mention his name, but he had to look upon his sanity and reliability. So is he the kind of god of veganism, basically, or he's got the right to judge people? Yeah.
Where's the humanity?
Exactly.
I know veganism is like, people forget it's about. I mean, I get that the animals is probably, in the environment, is the most important cause, because that's what people aren't aware of. But in your kind of, in your, whatever you call it, your journey to make that difference, don't forget there are people along the way, and you want to bring them along with you, not, you know, kick them and leave them on the floor.
Exactly. I mean, there was another point, he says, stupidity is dangerous and can destroy things quickly. But yet he's saying that he was brought up to not stigmatise people and things like that. Well, that sounds to me as if he's saying that this person's stupid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, you calling this person stupid, and what people don't realise about this person is that they actually have really high IQ. They're smarter than you and I, without a doubt.
100%.
Because they've told me, and that's the thing, like, just because, and what people don't realise about people that live with autism is they are, in fact, very intelligent. I've worked with a lot of autistic children when I was working with children, and some of them are far more advanced than other kids, because they focus so much on something they're interested in, and then, you know, that's no longer interesting because, you know, they need more, they need it more intense.
Exactly.
And so, you know, a lot
It's
of
like
the time,
Dutch
if they
says,
have...
you can't blow out somebody's candle doesn't make yours grow any better. That's exactly it.
And weren't we taught that in primary school, like, you know, grade 3 or something?
Yeah, exactly. And he puts everybody down, especially in his comments. I mean, you comment below, and he commented below, have you even watched the video and things like that? I mean, as if you're stupid, you've not got the same intellect that he's supposed to have had. Thanks for becoming a fan of it.
We're not as smart as him. Oh, Fluffkinzilla sent a heart. Fluffkinzilla fluff. I love that.
I mean, what gets me is he doesn't realise that this particular person has actually seen this video and is upset by it. Do you not think that this actually is feeding into it and could actually make the matters worse for him? I mean, if he's got any caring for this vegan movement that he claims about, he would remove the video.
Yeah, and what upset this person the most was that the video was made before we knew if they were okay or not. So he's using somebody that had potentially passed just to make a point and talking about, you know, talking negatively about him when we were all quiet. We were all like, if you've got anything to ask it privately. Like, don't keep his name because we want to respect him and his family. I
mean, I know for a fact I'm blessed to call him a friend. I mean, he's one of the nicest guys you'll meet. He goes through issues that me and you and everybody else in this chat can all relate to. I've been at that point myself where I could have easily committed suicide, you know what I mean? And
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, you know, what happened was tragic, but that doesn't define who the person is from now on.
No.
That's just like you. Like, you're not the guy with anorexia. You're Tommy.
Exactly.
The guy that talks about veganism and all this stuff, you know?
I mean, there's many people on vegan YouTube that have got illnesses. You've got people that, a lot of them with anorexia, you've got Dates with Love, you've got Izzy D, all high profile ones. Yep. You've got, you know what I mean? There's, come off it, I mean.
Even Durian Ryder has, sorry, I was just typing. Even Durian Ryder has said that he's had mental health issues. And he made a point in the video, which I didn't address fully, like I cut some parts out, but that Durian Ryder promises to, like, oh, you won't have to take medication anymore, everything will be better, and saying that by encouraging this guy, we were doing the same thing. But I never spoke to him about his mental illness at all. I just saw him for the person that he was. Like, I just wanted to get to know someone new.
And touching upon that, Durian Ryder's actually reached out to me, as you well know, and he said to me, he says, don't be doing anything raw or anything. He says, have vegan burgers, have your vegan pizza, your vegan donuts. Basically tell you what I'm actually doing, and he's basically saying a totally opposite for what Durian Ryder actually says. Durian Ryder does recommend raw tofu for people for weight loss and things, but he doesn't for people with anorexia.
And we've got to remember too, he was endorsing that because his partner was, you know.
Exactly.
Like his thing is 30 bananas a day, not raw tofu. That's like his. So.
I mean, I must admit, I actually loved Durian Ryder's stuff recently. He's actually come into his own, and he's actually doing. Yeah, he's actually bringing out more of himself and what he actually believes in. It's far better.
But what's bizarre about him, he has this way of either, like, I feel like he wanted people to hate him at the time. So I feel like he has this talent of really making people despise him. And now he's got this way of he's so charismatic that he can make us, like, now he's making us like him. Like, he's a little...
It's all part of the drama, really, isn't it? It's to get viewers engaged and things like that. That's what he's all about. It's about creating controversy, really. It's like Duchess says, he's good at polarising. That's exactly it.
Yeah, he is. That's for sure. Yeah, he's been actually really good to watch lately. Like, even his comments on, like, mental health and stuff like that, like it's completely changed from, like, it's a choice. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know, did you ever watch the Gay is a Choice video that Martin Lewis did with him?
I didn't see that one, no.
Oh, Martin, it's on Martin's channel. He interviewed him about gay being a choice. It was actually pretty entertaining. I didn't hate it. Like, he's saying to Durian Ryder, like, do you literally wake up and say, I'm going to be gay today or I'm not? He goes, yeah. And it was funny, they were having a joke, like, Julian Ryder said, oh, after this we'll have to, you know, go and do whatever, because now today I want to be gay, kind of just as a joke.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was good.
The one thing I did agree with him about the eating disorder thing was he phrased it wrongly. He said eating disorders are a choice, but what he was actually talking about was the behaviours in the moment. Like, say, like, if you decide, I'm going to go on a diet or I'm going to binge and purge, that decision is a choice in the moment.
That's a choice.
That's actually what he was talking about, but he phrased it wrongly when he said eating disorders are a choice. He wasn't actually meaning the eating disorder is a choice. He was talking about the behaviour in the moment, and I thoroughly agree with that, because that is something we do.
Well, that's just like me. It's a choice whether, like, if I'm sitting there having a panic attack and I want to have a shower, it's a choice if I get up and do that.
Yeah.
He's right in that respect. I suppose the eating disorder, the mental illness isn't a choice, but the compulsion or the action that we take to relieve the anxiety is the choice. But sometimes even that is very hard to say it's a choice. Like, sometimes I sit there. The other night I was sitting there and I was like, and you know, you're thinking and you're trying to convince yourself, like, you don't need the shower, you don't need to do this. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you just can't wrap your head around it, and that's okay too. Like, that's what I say to people, like, that's okay.
I'm the same. It's the behaviours, like I say, everything's got to be done at a certain time and a certain ritual. Even having my meals, going to the shower, going to the toilet and things. And if I'm out and about and I've got distractions, like I say, it's not a problem. But if I'm sitting in the house and let's say somebody comes to the house, like my eating disorder nurse comes to see me, if I can't go to the toilet at that certain time or it interrupts it and things at the time I go, I start getting really, really irate, and like I'll lose the place with Laura and things, and like I say, I feel like a piece of shit because I take it out in Laura. Like, I'll say to Laura, I'll lose the place. Like, if she says something, I'll say, why can't I do this? And you feel terrible, you know what I mean? It's all part of the illness.
Yeah. I mean, I did that with myself the other night. I felt like, it's like in that moment, I've talked about self-deprecating and talking badly about yourself. And in that moment where I decided, I just cried and I was like, I'm such a shit person. And I was saying, and then I thought, hold on a minute, you haven't done this in like months. But in that moment, it's like something happens, you give in, and instantly you just feel like the scum of the earth. Like, why can't I do this? And you just get down about it. But it's like almost insanity in that moment, like temporary insanity where you go against everything you say about yourself on a regular day. It's like you're not in the same headspace.
Fluffkinzilla says it's a choice to binge and purge, but at the same time in our mouths we can't stop it. Exactly, 100%. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's the eating disorder that takes over, and it's for people outside an eating disorder, they probably don't understand it, but it's like, I always say, it's like having a Jekyll and Hyde personality. It's like having this wee person inside your head, and you're two different polar opposite people, basically.
Yeah, there's two Tommies. There's logical Tommy. You know that what you're doing is stupid and wrong and not right. Then there's eating disorder Tommy, and it's the same thing with me. I'm so, like, I know logically when I'm doing something, Jessica, this is ridiculous, normal people don't do this, but I'm still doing it. And I know that it doesn't make sense.
I know.
Like, sometimes even if I think I've touched something that's like a meter away and I know it's not physically possible, because the thought's there, I've already touched it and it doesn't even matter. Yeah. And like, I know it's impossible, but it's almost like you're washing the thought away.
That's it. It's basically like a cleansing of the body and mind, isn't it, in some ways, I suppose?
Yeah.
Duchess says, I find it so hard and the random panic attacks scare me the most.
AJ just said you don't have the emotional strength all the time to choose the more helpful action, and that's what I was saying before, like when I had to give in and say, I'm going to do this, like, I was hard on myself, but when I look back, it's like, that's fine. That's okay. Like, give yourself a break. You're not untouchable. Like, you're struggling for a reason.
Yeah. It was sometimes. Sorry.
And I was just going to say, sometimes because you do, like I've talked about it with you, you fight and fight and fight for so long that it almost gets stronger and harder, like it pushes harder. And so sometimes you have to give in because it's just too much to kind of deal with at the time because you're so stressed with trying everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, fluffkinzilla had a great broadcast tonight. I was on it last night. It was really, really amazing. She was talking about her eating disorder and how the kind of things that she goes through as well. And
I'm going to fan her for sure. Do you have a YouTube channel too?
she does. I've actually featured her on my shout outs. Fluffkinzilla's amazing. I love her so much.
How did I not see that one? Oh, yeah, I'll have to check her out.
She supported me and Shani so much. She's a lovely, lovely person. She's got a wee boy and things as well. And
yeah,
she does all that.
Oh, that's cool.
Absolutely amazing.
Oh, that's good.
Fluffkinzilla, you might be interested in the stream that we're going to be doing for mental health. It's that we're going to try and do a 24-hour thing, and it's going to be the end of January. And Jessica's actually set up a Facebook page. It's the Ostro Project. If you want to join that.
And a blog.
And a blog as well.
What we're doing, in the meantime, especially for people who maybe... So I'm trying to set my camera up again. Especially for people who don't want to maybe come on camera during that time, or who want to, like you and I, I've still got to write mine, man. But like a blog, so we've all got all our stories on there, and you can share a photo, but you don't have to even say who you are. It could just be anonymous fluff or whatever, Because not everyone, if someone's never spoken out, it's probably a good opportunity for them to do that anonymously and see what kind of feedback they get and realise that they're not being judged. That's what I found. Like, I'm not going to lie, I did get some judgment, but nowhere near as much as I judged myself coming out with my mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
And support came from the weirdest of places, like people that sorry. Wee! People that I'd barely spoken to for years actually came and was like, I'm dealing with this, and if you need anything. So it's amazing what people,
She says she would love to do it. You can. Jessica will set you up with a time that suits you and things like that over the 24-hour stream, definitely.
Yeah. I'll fan you, but check out my social media and just message me on anyone, because I'm always on. And I'll add you on Facebook or whatever, and we can talk about it. Wouldn't mind going on camera for a bit, just have to do it after little guy goes to bed. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Vichin says, I would love to talk about my mental health. Yeah, like I say, we'll all support you 100%, even if you wanted to come on and guest one day and speak along with either me and Jessica or anything like that to kind of help you out the first time and things. That's what we're all here for. Support each other.
And your friend Angela would be a good one, because she's like in a different stage. Like no one's ever recovered, but she's in recovery, isn't she?
Who's that?
Yeah. Angela Bora.
Angela Bordak. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
She's been through a lot. She's had cancer and many other things as well. And Beffy and Caputo, who is Butterfly Rose, she's been through both as well. So it'd be amazing to get her. I'll actually maybe speak to her.
It'd be interesting to talk to people that have a mental illness or suffered from a mental illness because of something like cancer or postnatal depression, because that's what Liptember's about.
Exactly.
It's about like when women specifically suffer from things like postnatal depression or depression after a hysterectomy and stuff like that. Like that's a...
Martin Lewis is here. Nice to see you, Martin, in the chat.
Martin Lewis?
Yeah,
Lewis!
Martin, we're just basically talking about the video with ISO made and things like that, so it'd be great if you could touch upon that as well at some point and give your kind of feedback on that, because
we're making our own little drama video apparently. Did you like the thumbnails? I was laughing, like I showed the ladies earlier and they were like, that is hilarious. I'm like, no, I'm seriously going to use that.
Like AG says, removing stigma and embracing each other in our recovery journey strategies, sharing it. That's exactly it. That's what it's all about. It's about. This is a real community. They talk about the vegan community and things that we should all be part and one of the same, and stop kind of stigmatising people for their illnesses and we're all here for the same reason, and that's for the vegan movement and to spread awareness.
I'll add you, Fluffy. I think Fitchin wants to guest with you, maybe. They said they want to talk. So if
you're welcome. You're welcome to come on and chat away. Definitely, just let me know if you want to come on.
what was I going to say? Yeah, I don't think it's like the vegan movement. I mean, we just happen to be vegan just the same way as we just happen to have a mental illness. Like, it doesn't, we're not part of this community and this community. We're just people, you know, amongst each other.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to be vegan. I mean, but there are a lot of people, if you find in the vegan movement, that are, I said movement like him from watching his video.
I know.
That have a mental illness and stuff like that. But it's not because it's veganism or it draws people in. It's because a lot of people have mental illness and a lot of people are talking about it now.
Exactly.
As opposed to before. Yeah.
Oh, I see Vitchin's in the guest queue.
All right, yeah, I'll listen in, I'll watch.
It's been lovely speaking to you, Jessica, and I'll speak to you soon and send you all my love.
I'll be in the chat. Bye.
Bye. So, I'll guess Vitchin if it is ready.
Hi.
Hi there, how are you?
Good. My name's Victoria.
Lovely to meet you, it's really, really nice to meet you.
Lovely meeting you. I've had mental health since I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
And I was in a mental hospital twice, but I'm doing much better, and I'm like on
That's great.
Gone to the hospital, you know. And I've been hearing voices, hear voices, and you know, so I have to talk to the voices to say, "Go away, you're not real." You know?
Exactly, that's it, because we kind of basically think that this is our identity back and forward, don't we? That's what a lot of people don't understand, that we basically think that this is real and it takes over your life, and it's really amazing that you speak out about these things. It really is. It's great to hear from you.
Yeah. Like, the first time it happened, I was about to, like, I've had suicidal thoughts and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I went to the hospital because I was, like, saying I'm having, like, the first time that it happened, it was like all my friends were telling me to go up the roof and jump off it. Like, that's the first sign where you're like, okay, this is not getting any better.
Lauren Morgan is asking, what do you have?
Oh, I have Williams syndrome.
I've never actually heard of that one. I've heard it back and forward, but I think it's quite rare, isn't it?
It's like Down syndrome, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. With heart defects and stuff. So
how long have you actually suffered with that?
I've had it since I was about 9 months. I've had Williams syndrome since I was about 9 months old. And I was a very croaky baby, and I would cry and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really proud of you for speaking out. Like I say, everybody here is absolutely amazing. We'll all support you 100%, and it's people like this that we need to keep coming forward to try and raise awareness and things like that. And you'll obviously know probably yourself. Have you experienced stigma in the past and from people in that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I want to understand my mental illness and not judge me for it. On here, like, I'm spreading awareness no matter what.
Exactly, that's it. Like I say, don't let anybody put you down. Like I say, you're always going to get hate from some people, but at the end of the day, if we keep coming on and we keep spreading awareness and showing that we're not our illnesses and we're much more, like I say, everybody's beautiful in their own way, and like I say, that's what it's all about, and people don't seem to understand that you're always going to get hate from some people, but at the end of the day, you've just got to shut that out and realise that that's probably more about the issues that they go through, because they probably feel insecure about themselves and they've got to try and hate on you.
Yeah, and sometimes when you have mental health problems, you're like, oh, you feel so down, and you're just like, why me? But then you have to realize you know what? If you have, it's basically anxiety, and that stressors will trigger it for me.
Exactly. I get days much myself where I can relate to that. I would say I get up and I think to myself, do I want to keep recovering? Do I want to keep on the road to recovery and things like that? But it's all the things I've got in life, knowing that I'm helping other people online with eating disorders. I've got my wife, I've got my dogs. I've obviously doing my activism with my vegan activism and things like that. And that's what it's all about. Like I say, you're going to always have days where your illness basically wants you to, but it's keep pushing on. And if you have a bad day, don't feel as if you're a failure. Whether that be getting up, going to bed at night, getting up the next day and choosing recovery, that's constantly winning, because recovery isn't linear. You're going to have bad days, but we all experience that.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. And how long have you had an eating disorder for?
Well, I've had my eating disorder for 19 years now. It started with when I lost my mum in 1997. She'd suffered various types of cancers all through her life. She actually had cancer in the womb, having me, and she had the choice to obviously abort me and be free of the cancer and basically have me and live with the cancer. So she passed away when I was 17, and I was a semi-professional footballer at the time. I went down to about 4 stone. I suffered 2 heart attacks. The first one was when I went to Australia in the year 2000. I was actually dead for 9 minutes. I had a near-death experience at that point. I was in a potassium coma as well for 3 months. Then I recovered for a good while. I went back up to about 12 stone, and then I met my wife in 2002. We got married in 2006 actually. Then my wife actually relapsed. She had ovarian cancer that was misdiagnosed as polycystic ovarian syndrome. And then I relapsed at that point, and I suffered a second heart attack. And I suffered like refeeding syndrome, where that is basically where they start to reintroduce food to your body when you've had an eating disorder, and basically your body goes into shock, and that brought on a heart attack as well. So I got out of the hospital in roughly about 2007, 2008. And I was, at that point, my father, who was basically, we looked after him, me and my wife, because he actually had severe diabetes, and he had got an amputation in his leg through diabetes. And then actually at that point he suffered a stroke and a heart attack. So I wasn't basically getting to the point of recovery, and I was staying at that weight. And then in November 2014, my dad suffered a second heart attack and stroke and passed away, and I relapsed. And then I was in hospital for about 3 or 4 months. But at that point I came out in November 2014, and in January this year I went vegan, which I had wanted to do for years, but I was obviously with my eating disorder recovery team, because people can use it as a mask of their eating disorder. And it's been the best thing ever. I've recovered. I'm each and every week. I'm obviously speaking out at Parliament and things about eating disorders, doing my vegan activism for the animals and things, and it's been amazing.
How's your wife doing? Is she better now?
My wife, she gets like 3 monthly checkups, basically checking upon her like kind of scans and things like that. She's going through a lot of pain and things. She's got severe bloating and things. She had to have a full hysterectomy and things like that. So we obviously can't have a family and things. And she basically feels that she's worthless and things because she can't have a family. And I really, really hate it, because at the end of the day, having a family is no important to me. It's about her health, and I love her so much. And we've obviously got our dogs and things, so we're fur babies and we're animals. So that's the most important thing to me.
Yeah. Like
Jude Delicious says, Tommy, you're meant to be here, mate. Thanks very much, Jude. I really, really appreciate that.
You know, like, I have a boyfriend, but I've always wanted to get married, and I've always wanted to have kids.
Yeah.
But, you know, if it's not on the cards for me, then it's not. Like, it's not a reality, right? You just think, oh, I want this, and I want that, and...
Exactly, like I say, just take every day at a time and keep pushing on. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, like, I'm just glad that I can come here and everyone can get to know me, and like...
Definitely, we'll all give you 100% support, and I hope to see you back very soon. There's fluffkinzilla's wanting in the chat, so I'll get her on in a little minute as well, and I send you all my love. Hope to speak to you soon.
Alright,
You as
nice to
well.
see you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, my friend, as well.
Bye.
Lovely, lovely person. Everybody please fan her up. She's absolutely amazing. So I'll get Fluffkinzilla on for, I've got another 10 minutes. I'll guest her on as well if she wants to guest. Just jump, I'll guest you just now, Fluffkinzilla.
Hey,
Hi there, how are you?
good. It's really late. I'm gonna turn this down. My phone was on full volume. Goodness. I have my lamp just like brightening up because I had it off, and then I was like, you were saying some stuff that like I was like, I can totally relate because my mom passed away from cancer. Well, she didn't pass away from cancer. What happened was she got an infection in her PICC line, and then because of the cancer, um, she had all this stuff going on, so like it just took over. She had pneumococcal pneumonia.
Yeah, I've heard of that, yeah.
Yeah, and that only happened because they took her off the chemotherapy, and she wasn't strong enough to fight it. And to think that it happened a year ago is just like heart-wrenching, and it's so hard. And I constantly worry about my dad because he, like, I hate saying that he's an alcoholic, but I know that he is, and I try to
Yeah, it's kind of accepting that problem. Like I say, we don't often accept it with these issues. That's part of the mental illness, isn't it? Is you've got to actually, first you've got to accept you've got an issue, then actually reach out to get help. But the biggest part is accepting that.
Oh yeah, for sure. My dad has like gotten himself in such a bad situation, and of course, I am hundreds of miles away because I just moved from
Yeah, that must be
Ontario to
really,
Alberta.
really hard for you.
He had to sell his house because he's not been able to find another job since he got laid off last year, and it's just overbearing me because I have my own stuff that I need to deal with.
Yeah.
But mentally, and I just started seeing a counselor because there's so much going on, and thankfully, for us here, if you're on assistance or you don't have the money, you can get counseling for free. And I wish
That's great.
with all my heart that more people could get free counseling because there's so many people that really need it, and I just feel like a breath of relief that I have somebody to talk to here because I don't really know anybody. So I left all my friends and family behind, and like my sister, like I have a YouTube channel for anybody who wants to know more about me.
Exactly. Please check up our YouTube channel, Fluffkinzilla. If you'd like to tell everybody what your kind of illness is, so they exactly know all about you and things like that, if you're open to doing that.
Yeah. So, I have been struggling with an eating disorder for, oh gosh, I can't even do the math because it's like I was 18. Like it's when I actually think about it, it's been longer than just when I was 18, because in my family, it was kind of like a competition to not eat, yet my mom would make big, humongous meals, and if we didn't finish them, then we'd get in trouble. So,
I think we
but
can
if
all
it
relate to
was,
that.
it's so stupid. And then like my dad, he still to this day is like, oh, I didn't eat today. I didn't eat today. And I'm like, yeah, well, this is the first thing I've eaten all day. Like, it's so stupid and it's not right. And my parents, I don't want to blame my parents, but they definitely made me so susceptible to this really messed up way of thinking about food, thinking that I shouldn't eat. And So when people say it's not a mental thing, it hurts because if I could, like, I try so hard to set a good example for my son, and my son is only
You
almost
do that.
2. He'll be
I can tell you do that. So don't ever think you don't do that. You're amazing, and don't let anything that's basically the eating disorder voice telling you otherwise, and you know that. And you're amazing. You really, really are.
Yeah. So, like, like I used to be so anorexic. I used to not eat, and I'd have like a pop and a cookie, and I'd feel you like this euphoric. Is that the word? Euphoric? Like
Yeah,
this high.
I can touch upon that. Like I say, it's basically like somebody, if you can imagine it, on drugs for us. When we starve ourselves so we have food, we get these endorphins fire into our brain. It's like a high. You get a high off of not eating and things like that. And people probably don't understand that. It's not got eating disorders, but it's like you're thinking, oh, it's weird to understand. You can probably relate to it.
Oh no, for sure. There was one time when I went on a water fast for 5 days. I wanted to do 7, but I did 5 days, and I only stopped because my mom was, you have to do something. And but I felt so amazing, and I don't know what it was, and I knew that it was not right, but I was kind of laughing in everybody's face type thing, like,
Yeah.
haha, I can do this. I can live off water and ice cubes, and I'm good. I'm strong. Look at me go. I'm losing weight, and it was so messed up. But
Well, one thing
that
that you touched upon last night was the kind of, you were talking about drinking Pepsi and things like that. I do that often. I drink about 4 litres of Pepsi Max a day, and like I say, I think this is all to give you the kind of feeling that you're full and things like that, and to stop you eating food. That's part of the eating disorder. You know,
yeah.
another one that I do quite as well, when you were talking about eating like certain foods in a certain order on your plate, like having your vegetables and such, like, I do something as well. You probably, I don't know if you've ever done this, I smother my food in tomato sauce and things like that. That's part of the eating disorder, seemingly, that does that. It's to kind of give you this kind of feeling that you're eating more.
I love tomatoes. Like, I like ketchup. I love ketchup. And
Yeah.
a lot of things, like, I was vegan when I was anorexic. That's how I started, like, getting into the anorexic tendencies.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for me, my iron plummets way too low, and the doctors told me that I cannot, I at least have to eat chicken and fish.
My
So,
wife's exactly the same. That's what I've touched upon in my videos. People say, why is your wife not vegan? Because she suffers with cancer, she suffers severe iron deficiencies, and she's not allowed to. She needs to have meat and fish, which that's unfortunate, like I say. But we've got to do for our health. People don't understand that.
yeah, I still do restrict as much as possible. Like, I had, I don't want to, I know some people are like, not too happy about feminine period talks and stuff, so I won't divulge too much into that. But when you're depriving yourself as a woman, you can lose. I lost my period for 3 months.
Yeah.
And I only recently just got it. I had a nice big steak for a birthday dinner, and then the next day I was like, oh my goodness, thank God I got what my body needed to get that. And though it felt crappy, and I had such mixed feelings about it, and I knew that it was all right, but like, for me, because I suffer more with bulimic thoughts now, because I have to eat, because I need to make a good example for my son. He doesn't need to see me go to the washroom and see what I do in there, but
Yeah.
he needs to see me eating. And a lot of times, if I'm not eating what he's eating, he kind of won't eat, which really
Yeah, so
frustrates
that's
me.
the motivation for you.
Yeah,
Jessica's as well. Did you find it was worse during the menstruating too?
I've always had really crappy menstruating times. Um, Before, when I was just anorexic, I never lost my period. So, um, I had been struggling with bulimia for 3 months now because I did I'm not gonna say I recovered fully because I still had, I mean, you're still gonna have the mental things even when you recover,
Oh, that's
but
100%. That's what I say. Like eating disorders, especially, people say that they're very much alike, like drug addicts and alcoholics. But for us, it's a totally different journey, really, because the thing that kills us and the thing that we need to stay alive is food, and we've got to face that every single day. And you're always going to have that voice there, but it's making it just become a whisper rather than screaming at you.
yeah. And like, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do any of that stuff. I'm fairly healthy
I'm exactly the same. I don't do any
person.
of that at all.
Yeah, and see, I find that a lot with people that have eating disorders. They don't, I know some that smoke cigarettes. The most that I know personally are so kind-hearted and so nice. And the most negative things happen to to people who don't deserve it.
Yeah. Oh, it's been absolutely lovely speaking to you. It really, really has. And we'll need to do it again. So everybody in the chat, please go and fan up fluffkinzilla. She's an amazing, amazing person. And check out her YouTube channel as well. I wish I had a link. I would comment below, but it's the exact same name on
Oh,
YouTube, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah, they can just look up the same name if they want to learn more about me. I really need to probably get some sleep because my
Have a
sleep's
lovely night. I'll
waking up.
send you all my love. Speak to
Thanks
you
so
soon.
much. Love to you too. Bye.
You as well. So absolutely amazing, amazing person. It's been absolutely great, guys. I'm just going to sign off here with a little song for you. Basically touching upon exactly what all this chat's actually been about today. It's called Beautiful by Christina Aguilera. Every day is so wonderful, and suddenly it's hard to breathe. Now and then I get insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed. I'm beautiful no matter what they say. Words can bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can bring me down. Oh no, so don't you bring me down today. To all your friends, you're delirious, so consumed in all your doom, trying hard to fill the emptiness. The piece is gone. Let the puzzle undone and stop the way it is. You are beautiful no matter what they say. Yeah, words can bring you down. Oh Oh no, you are beautiful in every single way. So guys, sending you all my love. Remember, binge on life, purge negativity and starve guilty feelings, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Sending you every one of you in the chat all my love.